All right, we're gonna get right into the meat and potatoes of this. I have my tool, I have my foot, and here's how I'm gonna work the whole foot over. Some basic anatomy here. Here's my calcaneus, here's where the plantar fascia would be. Here's basically the part of my metatarsals and my toes. And then over here we have a muscle that goes to the outside of the foot, the pinky toe. And then on the inside of the foot, near the high part of the arch, we have a muscle that goes to the toe, the big toe. So what we're going to be working is this whole calcaneal fat pad and then down into the plantar fascia. And there's tons of muscles underneath there that get irritated. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our cream. I'm a big fan of the Free Up. We're going to just apply it. I have my tool. I'm going to take the tool, and first I'm just lightly going to go over the area. I'm just basically trying to warm up the tissues, get my foot used to it. I may find some spots that are a little bit more crunchy, like up top here on the inside of this arch. It's a little bit crunchy, pretty normal, pretty common. That area right through here is where I mostly feel my pain and discomfort. But I'm gonna kind of work the whole area, starting off with a light pressure, just to kind of warm it up. My feet are pretty tickly, so this also helps when I start off light. It gets it kind of used to that, so I'm not squirming all over the place. I'm up here kind of on the inside of my heel bone, the calcaneus. If I tilt it down, you can see right in there. That's another spot that I commonly feel it. So as I've done that kind of warm up for just a bit, I can get a little bit more aggressive, put a little bit more pressure, and I'm kind of scanning for areas that are more tender than others. The other thing I like to do is take my other hand, hold onto my foot to brace it, so that way it's not moving all over the place. But what I'll do, find the areas that are they need the most attention, and for me, that's that inside arch right through here. So I'm gonna work that area first. Going back and forth. I'm using right now a bit more pressure because the tissue's kind of warmed up and it can tolerate that. I want to increase blood flow into that inside portion of the arch and to that muscle that goes to the big toe. And at a certain point, it goes from kind of an uncomfortable to it feels pretty darn good. I will work this area until most of that discomfort has dissipated. Sometimes that might be a minute, sometimes it might be a couple, 3 minutes. Depends how irritated the tissues are. And right now I'm getting more on the inside, the instep, than I am the actual bottom of the foot. Just so you guys have a reference point. And oh baby, it does feel good. That spot right there, through there, that top part, feeling pretty good. Now I can move on. Now, another common spot would be right through here. Right where that plantar fascia starts to insert onto the calcaneus. And so now I'm going to do the same thing with that. I'm going to start working that area. I'm using it right through here. I can tolerate quite a bit of pressure, so I'm going to give it that pressure. These tissues are very tough. They can withstand quite a bit of pressure. So that spot's feeling pretty good. So now I'm going to work up higher into the foot, more closer to the toes, kind of looking for an area that feels a little bit gnarly, that needs some attention, needs some love. That's right through there. I can feel it. So I'm going to focus on that area now. Give that a few. Any area that I find that is uncomfortable when I do it, that's where I'm going to focus. Feeling pretty good in there. Doesn't have quite the bite that it did before. So now I'm going to focus right here on the heel, that calcaneal fat pad. That is where the plantar fascia comes up and it blends in with that fat pad and all those tissues, and then it actually attaches and blends with all the fascia and connective tissue up into the Achilles tendon. This is a good spot to use a two-handed grip. Saves my hands. And again, I can use quite a bit of pressure here. Looking kind of for those areas that are more irritated. And again, I think this feels great. So I started off kind of here at the instep, inside of that calcaneus, and then I worked what I'll call the bottom. Work that for a minute or two, and then also I will do the outside. Even if I don't feel it there, I'm going to check it. And so you can kind of see what I'm doing, right, like that. I'm not really feeling much in that spot, so I don't have to spend a lot of time there. There are times where I will feel it more on the outside here. So I feel like I've gotten the foot pretty good. I'll go back through, kind of check any areas that might need a little bit more love. Overall feeling pretty good. This area right through here, the space between the calcaneus and then where those metatarsals start, there's a little soft spot right in here. So I'm gonna work that. There's a better view for you. Just back and forth. Very nice. Depending on how bad my foot is hurting, will kind of dictate how often I do this. Like right now, it's not that bad, so I will do it maybe once a week for a couple weeks, and then hopefully be good to go. Other times I may need to do it more. I may go several weeks without having to do it, but this is what I do to help maintain my foot health and keep this under control to where it allows me to do things that I want to do. Well, in the next section, I'll show you guys what I do that goes beyond this, because rarely is this just the issue. Usually there's other things going on. You might have a tight heel cord, Achilles tendon. You might have some posterior tib issues. You can have some gastrocnemius issues that you really don't feel, that I really don't feel until I start exploring them. And that all plays in to how this performs. It all works together. So, see you in the next video.